10. Last year, the Lakers began the season with a 2-5 record. So Derek Fisher, of course, there is not a whole lot to complain about right now. It's early, a lot of fun. What has stood out to you? What have you liked most about the Lakers' hot start so far?
Well, for me, what I like the most about this team so far is while they're still figuring a lot of things out, personnel in and out, injuries, Kuz just returning, Rondo still out, Avery Bradley missing a couple games, is that they're winning games while they're figuring it out. And that's, to me, a good sign of a basketball team that has a chance to be great. Rotation still learning, new coaching staff, completely new way of playing, and they're winning. And in an NBA season, when you can win early while you're still figuring the things out, that's a great sign.
Frank has admitted that he feels that they are ahead of the curve so far. Would you agree as well?
I would agree a little bit. I do think that obviously he's the coach, so he knows his team better than I do. But they have some winnable games on the schedule so far that they've been winning. So I wouldn't necessarily, in my opinion, say ahead of the curve, because they're winning games against teams they're supposed to beat, but I like the way they're doing it. And I do think when you look at a #1 defensive rating this early in the season, I would say that's ahead of the curve.
You know who continues to do it and bring his A game every single night? Should we bring in the Hall of Famer?
Of course we should.
How would you, big game, from the studio, first and foremost, D-Fish, what are you giving that suit tonight?
Oh, that's a 10 right there. That's a 10.
Yeah.
You got to coordinate. I see the coordination, big game.
In memory of our good friend John Witherspoon, you can't stop with the belt. You know, you got to go inside. You got to coordinate with the mushroom line and everything. So thank you.
I see you.
My man,
You
John
brought it all. You brought it all, as you do every single night. Big game, I just want to know, what have you loved and enjoyed so much so far about this early start for the Lakers?
Well, I like the collective commitment that the team has made to really be committed to defense. You know, that's something that they're going to need from now until the last game of the season. So it starts with AD and those shot blockers inside, Danny Green, Bradley, on the perimeter, and then you guys got Caruso and Kuz now. So I like that, because once you commit to defense, that will hold you up on nights where the offense is not going to be there. So, Pat Riley used to always say you cannot win championships without rebounding and defense. So I'm very happy for that. I'm also very happy with the way the bench is starting to come around. Kuz is getting in shape. Caruso and guys like that, Cook, they're really starting to be able to sustain what the starters start at the beginning of the game. So those are the two things that I'm very happy with thus far.
Of course, Big Game, we'll talk to you later in the show, but you nailed it. That's the one thing that the Lakers wanted: depth, and of course to get it done on the defensive end of the floor. Another guy who continues to cover this team the best that he always does, night in and night out. We are not the only ones here at Staples Center. Lakers reporter Mike Trudell is hanging out as well. What's the latest with the purple and gold, Mike?
Hey guys, it's nice to have you downtown. Certainly good to see you out on the floor, and yes, I am in the back by the locker room, and this locker room obviously is in a pretty good mood, guys. 3 straight wins on the road, 6-1 on the season. But you have to think about with Frank Vogel, does he believe in that adage that when you get home, things can get a little dicey, just in terms of how, okay, the other team is coming in and they're going to play hard. You can't get too comfortable. So we started that line of thinking with Frank Vogel a couple of moments ago. Hey, Frank, do you believe in that NBA adage at all? You come off a long trip and there can be a false sense of security coming home and having to key in on energy early, and if so, what's the best way to deal with that?
Well, it's always a challenge when you come off the road after a long trip, but our guys have been pretty locked in. Our sort of mindset throughout the course of the year has been to stay in the moment and forget everything that's in front of us and forget everything that's behind us and concentrate on the task at hand. So I'm hopeful our guys do that tonight.
Do you know yet if Avery Bradley will be able to go?
He's going to go, yep, and he'll start.
2 days in between the previous game to this one, did you get any chance to just look back at where you've done so far and kind of just put things together ahead of this one, or is it just about Miami?
Just stuck to the process. We evaluated the Bulls game, both ends of the floor. We taught a lot on the defensive end in practice, and got ready for Miami. Again, just staying in the moment, so stuck to the process and on the task at hand.
And Coach, in that process, what's the next thing you want your team to do to play better?
Well, there's a lot of things we can do to play better. I mean, execution on both sides of the ball has to continue to improve. We're not getting back well enough in transition. We're turning the ball over a little bit too much. And, our shot selection can continue to improve. We're not boxing out and gang rebounding as well as I like. And, well, the list is long, but we're off to a good start, but still a lot of room for improvement.
Frank, how easy is it for you, or how much easier is it for you to have relationships, to have trust with a group when you start well, when you start strong? Does that lend credibility to you and the staff and to the big?
Well, I think that, the buy-in in any coaching situation is always important, and, when you win early, that comes faster. So, hopefully we're off to a good start in that regard.
All right, guys, and quick thing from the Heat. Justice Winslow not going to be able to go tonight. He is in the concussion protocol. They'll have most of the rest of the lineup, including, of course, Jimmy Butler, and that'll be the first time Lakers fans see him in a Heat jersey. All right, back to you, Allie.
Thanks so much, Mike. And, of course, Jimmy Butler coming off a hot start in Phoenix, finishing with 34 the other night. All right, we got more to come from Staples Center, of course. Lakers and the Miami Heat coming up at 7:30 here on Spectrum Sportsnet. JaVale McGee is getting loose on the court. The Lakers starting center, averaging 5 and 4 so far this season, but he dropped 10 points in the win at Chicago on Tuesday. And coming up on Access, Kyle Kuzma has played just 3 games since his injury, but broke out for 11 points in the fourth quarter comeback against the Bulls. When will we really know that Kuz is back? We'll find out.
What kind of snake is this?
This is an indigo snake.
Oh, goodness.
Her name is Ursula. She's about 5 feet long.
She bite?
Well, they can, but she's very sweet.
So in a battle royale, who wins?
Probably the snake. I think so. She doesn't have any teeth. Yeah. She's not curious at all. She's like, she knows I don't like that.
Very kid-friendly. Families, everybody's getting a chance to meet each other and get acquainted.
We should all shoot at the same time.
Okay, we're gonna all shoot at the same time, baby, okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, bullseye all of us. Good at everything. I'm not as good as my daughter though. Wow. Bullseye on everything.
Yo, you want a happy face? Yeah.
For more inside access to the Lakers, check out our Emmy Award-winning show, Backstage Lakers. A brand new episode premieres tonight at 11 after the post-game show. All right, Kyle Kuzma is slowly getting better with every game. 14 points in his first 2 games, and then 15 points against the Bulls on Tuesday, leading the Lakers comeback in Chicago. He's still just 2 of 16 from 3, but Kuz is confident. It's just a matter of time.
Every single game, I kind of got a little bit more and more comfortable, just within some basketball rhythm and, kind of timing and whatnot.
What point during that game did you feel it start to click a little bit more? Was it more in the fourth quarter when you guys were out there with the second unit guys?
More like, that end of the third, going into the fourth, kind of just got a little bit of rhythm, got a layup, and then hit a 3, and then kind of, got a couple buckets going to the rim and really got going. And, kind of felt like I was, getting myself back a little bit.
And how are your legs feeling now? Are you back to that point yet, or is it still going to take some time?
Well, I'll let you know tomorrow night. I'll let you know. I know that from a conditioning standpoint, I wasn't necessarily tired, but it's still a thing, jumping up, getting the right arc and whatnot. So, no, it's coming. I think that fourth quarter was encouraging for myself. So.
And D-Fish, the one thing we do know about Kyle Kuzma is when it comes to his confidence, it never wavers. Can a fourth quarter like he had in Chicago, not necessarily the amount of points, but how he got those points, be something that a guy like him, that's all he kind of needs?
Yes. Like you said, confidence doesn't necessarily go away, but it can increase. And so being able to make plays off the dribble, which I think as a player returning from a lower extremity injury, your conditioning in terms of the stamina, endurance in your lower body, that's the hardest part to recover. And so as each game that Kuz plays, he's going to feel stronger. He could not have made these plays in the first couple games because of the timing, the rhythm, and the confidence in his legs. And these are good signs that he was able to attack and be aggressive that way in the fourth quarter.
Now, of course, it's going to, as you are saying, it's going to continue to take time for him to get to that Kuz that we have grown to love. But when you look at the good teams and that third star, that third player, I said before the season even began that Kyle Kuzma could be that X factor. Does he have that capability to be that third star?
I think 100% the answer is yes. He has the ability to score for himself. As we saw at different points last season, he's a better passer and playmaker than we expect or anticipate for him to be. And he's comfortable with the basketball. He's gotten stronger in the offseason. And I think he's going to be a guy that in those moments where there's an overlap with LeBron and AD maybe having to be on the bench at the same time that the Lakers ran into in Chicago because of foul trouble, I think Kuz is a guy that you can run your offense through that can still get you buckets and make plays for other guys.
And again, it will still continue to take time for Kyle Kuzma, but one thing is for sure, when it happens, we're all going to know that Kyle Kuzma has arrived. All right, speaking of arriving, apparently there was some superstar duos this summer that came to Los Angeles. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, a lot of people talk about them. If you're asking me, though, there is no greater duo than Chris McGee and Mike Bresnahan.
Wow. I would agree with that. Two guys that clearly enjoy hanging out on the chairs together.
Two guys.
So how about you let us in on all that fun?
We should give a high five right now. We should give Oh, that was the best intro. You know what? So heartfelt from both Allie and Fish.
Fish was really struggling for words there.
He was, but he was just trying to really put it correctly. It's time for Press's three-point play. Three things that you are looking forward to in this game. Big Game loves it over there. Kuz, is he back?
Yeah, kind of dovetailing what Fish and Allie were just talking about. I love a couple things he did in that game the other night. In the third and fourth quarter in Chicago, he had that floater going down the right side. It's kind of like old Kuz is back. He knows the conditioning still is not there. So what happened after practice yesterday at the Laker training facility, Kuz went through a pretty tough individual workout. There's Miles Simon, one of the Laker assistant coaches, and he was really working hard, going through basically game situations and a couple of pressure situations as well. He is not playing 1-on-4 there. It only looks that way. It was kind of funny afterwards. Kuzma came and talked to the media, and somebody asked him, do you like that kind of stuff? He's like, no, I hate it, but I've got to get my stamina and my conditioning back up to where I want it to be. So that's kind of what he's been doing at practice. I should say after practice. He has his own little mini practice because he knows he wants to get up to speed.
The Miami Heat are off to a really good start. Most think top 4 team in the East. I agree.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, kind of surprising. All right, when Miami picked up Jimmy Butler last summer, you're like, that's a nice little piece. This team might sneak into the playoffs in the East. Wow, Jimmy Butler, 30 points in that first half last night. What happened in the second half? He only had 4, but who cares? They got a nice little road win at a pretty good up-and-coming Phoenix team. And it's not just Jimmy buckets. I mean, there's some pretty good players on this Miami team, 4th overall in defensive rating. Derek Jones Jr., pretty good dunker. Tyler Hero, pretty good rookie. Can't forget Kendrick Nunn, kind of an interesting story there.
He was leading their team in scoring.
Yeah,
until Jimmy took over.
undrafted rookie. And also Goran Dragic has kind of discovered new life.